Okay. Welcome to the Sunderkids. That's kind of who we are, who we've
Yeah,
been.
this is Everyday Vibes with the Sunderkids.
What's up? This is cool. It's a podcast that we're gonna start.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, this is Everyday Vibes with the Sunderkids, and I'm Brittany.
And I'm Matthew. And yeah, we're the Sunderkids.
We're the
Let's be for
Sunderkids.
the
We've
fifth
got a
time.
Sunder fam. We've got
The Sundermans.
we're the
Got Sunder Women.
Sundermans. Sunder women, Sunder. Whoa, man. Yeah, we're out there. But we just decided we'd get on and do something because we got a lot of shit going on in our lives and we just want to share it because why
Really just
not?
want to talk about it. Because we already do talk about it. Might as
Yeah.
well record us talking about it.
Yeah, we chat on the reg and it's like I'd say a 2 to a 3.5 hour window usually, right? That we'd chat.
Yeah, we wanted to bring everybody else along for the ride.
We
Ride
won't
with the
we won't
vibes.
the wave of the vibes. But yeah, we won't give you a whole like 2-3 hour thing. Fuck that. But you know, we got some stories we want to get out. And
Yeah, first on the docket.
first we thought we'd just shock ya. You know, why not go in with a bang?
Well, our whole year came in with a bang, so we figure it definitely has put a little more action in my day-to-day.
It's been the catalyst for
It's a
many of
little
things.
exhilarating. It's a good
In
story.
more ways than one.
Woo!
Get you a little trauma, get you a little
Gotta
adrenaline.
shake it
you're
out
you're
before
in
we
it,
even
you're
talk
out it,
about
you're in it. Yeah. We have to go through this again. Oh my
All right.
god. I need to have a sip.
So, Brittany,
Mm.
after you're done taking that sip, why don't you go ahead and tell us about a little bit backstory about our sibling New Year's Eve trips?
Okay, so actually it started when this girl, Jamie, this friend Jamie, she
Friend
and
Jamie.
friend Jamie, Jamie Doda, and we went to Astoria for New Year's Eve, yeah. And we didn't want to go out to the bars, and it was like, hey, how about we just like go chill in this cabin, see some stars, be away from things, and just like vibe. So we did, and it was lit. And then Matthew's still in college. He's back in Nebraska. This is like
Mm-hmm.
2015, 2016. Okay. So I just moved out to Seattle. And so then the next year, Matthew's home for Christmas. Well, he's also friends with Jamie. So we were like, let's all do this together. So we all went out.
We all in
And
that tiny home.
we had a tiny home and it was so cute and awesome. And it had this little TV and then all these, was it a VHS or a DVD?
There was both VHSs and DVDs.
But we ended up watching Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China.
A Fish Called
Fantastic
Wanda.
movie. A Fish Called Wanda. And the last one,
Oh, fuck me.
Wizards.
Wizards?
I'm pretty sure we watched Wizards that
What
night.
the fuck was Wizards?
It's the weirdest 70s thing.
Yeah, they had quite
I might
the
be
eclectic
confusing
thing.
another Jamie Hangout sesh, but no, I'm pretty sure.
We might have gone for it, but I
Because
remember
it
Big
was like,
Trouble in Little China.
what is this? Yeah, Big Trouble in
Yeah.
Little China. A Fish Called Wanda was.
Oh, that was
like,
real
what is
good.
this?
That
It was
whoa,
fun.
that ending was lit. That was wild. Okay, and then so that year, okay, great. And then Jamie moved away, and then Matthew and I went 2018, 2019, and we went to Georgia and Pat's farm, and they were
Yes.
this awesome.
Sheep farm
Sheep
on
farms.
Whidbey.
These 2 women, they were incredible. They were so
They
cool.
they
They
had
had
5
4
great
or
white
5
Pyrenees. I'm pretty sure it was like 5. Great white
great
Pyrenees,
they were huge.
huge
And
dogs.
these oh my god, these
Their
ladies were
fur
wild.
is like 5 inches long. They're meant for literal bear dogs in
And
Alaska
they
because these
were.
women, yeah,
They
lived
lived
in
in a
Alaska for about
and
20
Canada.
years.
In
Yeah,
Canada.
and Canada and BC.
Yeah. I
Oh
mean,
man. And
bears.
so
And Matthew's rolling around in these dogs. They are
yeah, these dogs.
massive.
And it's like, oh, you got to do not approach them until I introduce you. Otherwise, you're a threat and you're gonna get taken down. And it's like,
Oh,
okay.
man.
But then once you get introduced, they're the loveliest, doviest thing. And then, but they're so huge. I'm just like
Dude,
rolling around on the
they
ground.
were massive.
Yeah, that was
Oh
fun.
my
And then I remember we saw so many mushrooms on that hike the
yeah,
next
back in
day.
those forests. That was really
Yeah,
cool. It was on Whidbey Island, yeah?
yeah, yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
on the southern
And Oak
southeast.
Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Oak Harbor. Oh, yeah. And then she made us garlic grits in the morning. That shit was
Oh
dang.
yeah,
And then she had this marmalade. They were all like homemade stuff. And they would like, she did her own hides. Oh
yeah.
man, she was like
We
drying
we
things
got
in
a
the
whole
shed.
tour of the
Yeah, she was like,
barn
"Oh, if you're
and
interested, like we
everything.
can show you around." And we were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay, show us
yeah.
around."
They
Like,
had 2 hides up and tanning.
and she
Only
had
one of
bees, I
them.
think, too. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Damn, they were
awesome people.
dope. Oh, and we like chatted all morning with them. I mean, they were like
Yeah.
fun. We were yapping. Okay, so that was like 2018, 2019. 2019, 2020, I was in the Peace Corps and I did not come home for Christmas that year. Um,
Oh yeah.
yes. Yeah, that was a Peace Corps year. I was in the Peace Corps, but I was medically evacuated. The one we went with Georgia and Pat. So yeah, we kept going on these. It was lit. So okay, that 2020, we went to Shelton, and that was like we were in the bottom of this house.
Yeah, that was, and it was all rainy.
It was so
It was
rainy.
so rainy,
Like it
and
was
I was
like I
there.
don't think we could go out like all day. We can't truck in
Yeah,
this. Like
we
it's
just chilled because it was like a full nice basement with a full nice view.
and I think a
But
season of Letterkenny had just came out, and we binged the shit. We binged the entire series.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I mean, and then we'd get up and stretch and like do little things, and we'd be like, back to
back to work.
Letterkenny.
Yeah, so you're on that.
Oh
Yep.
man. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so that one, and then okay, the one after that. Before we get to this year, calm down, everybody, chill out, chill out. We're getting there. We're getting there. Went to the captain's quarters. Captain's quarters was sick. It was like
Uh huh.
a house that kind of looked like a tree house, and then they had like a captain. I don't know what that thing is called. You would the
The
steering
steering
wheel.
wheel.
Really, the steering wheel of a boat? Are you serious? It's not. It's got a name. It's got a. Or maybe it
A
does. I
helm.
don't. The helm. The helm. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, um, that was cool, and we found that piece of pottery that was made in Monmouth, Illinois, which was very close to Macomb, where I was living. That was cool. That was nuts.
Yeah,
Very whack. And we
and
found a skeleton of we thought it was a squid, and then we were like, wait, squid and cartilage. We're cool. We're cool. And then it ended up being like a type of bird, like a
yeah,
mallard type thingy that they're on like the over by
yeah,
the ferries in Washington. A lot
yeah.
of like black little
The
fish.
image comes straight to mind, and I can never remember their names.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
they go like this.
Yeah,
They they get up, flap their arms. They're like little guys. Yeah,
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, and that year too, like there was snow
They
on the ground. Remember, she was like, "Oh my god, you guys went out in this? Like, this is crazy." And we are like, "Well,
Yeah.
we booked it. We're not coming. We took the truck for a reason. Like, come on, we got
Oh
this.
yeah,
Seattle doesn't get snow. We're chilling."
we went up.
We went up. That was in Lake Bay.
Where,
That was like
let's see.
middle upper peninsula. No, not like peninsula, but like Bay. No, like banger up banger, up Bremerton, up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Fucking
Yes,
shit.
it is on that
That,
little peninsula that
the
goes
peninsula.
down.
See, I got the term. East
Yeah,
Lake.
yeah. It I think it's technically part of the Kitsap Peninsula, but yeah, it's south of
Yes, 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 yes.
Belfair and Port Orchard.
Belfast. Yeah. Port Orchard.
Oh
Delight.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, drum roll, please. That leads us to this past New Year's Eve. So, okay, what we do. Sorry, I just went into the entire backstory. You probably, did not need to know that, but that's chill. The premise of what we actually do is Matthew and I go to a different part of Washington and
We kind of
we
look at a
do.
map and decide like an area that we haven't been to, or like
Yeah, or
or
like we look at cool Airbnbs and it's like, let's
cool
see what's
Airbnbs,
available in
cool
that
hikes.
time. Yeah, cool hikes, what are waterfalls, anything. It's like, what's the driving force? Let's go for it. And then we kind of look in that area. So, and we try and go different ways, right? We're like east, west, north, south, all over the place. Um, so, oh yeah. So we just like go random places and then we hang out and we just do lots of hiking. We toke it up and we just vibe out, watch TV. There's like no phones, no nothing. One year though, we did have to log on to a
Yeah,
PowerPoint party and give presentations. That
that was
was
a
at the
fun.
captain's
That was
quarters. That
fun. Yeah,
was
that was a captain's
sick.
quarters.
Matthew
And
had
we're
the
doing all
best
of this
presentation.
on on our we're doing all of this on like mobile hotspot when it's like all this crazy weather outside. It's like how are we even able to connect?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was like freezing and we were like in
Yeah.
this little place and she was like, "Oh yeah, you could come down and use like the really hot shower in the house, but you had to go like down through the garage, outside, back around the house and it was a stranger's house." And there's like dogs and you're like, "Oh my god, I just can't do this. I can't do this."
Yeah, no.
But anyways, that was super awesome. But this year,
So
we decided, and usually I would like to say I plan most of it. Once we
most
lock
of it for
down
sure.
the thing, I'm the initiative taker. I'm like,
When
let's fucking go
when
logistics.
I travel with Brittany, she is taking the lead and doing most of the research, locking things
Alpha.
down. Yeah. I provide some suggestions on hikes and things in the area. I'll do some research into the history and provide fun facts for her,
My
but
Jester.
I let her kind of take the initiative
Matthew
on
will like
getting the
find a lot of
Airbnb.
hikes, you know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like
yeah, I
a
got
lot of
options.
hikes. But I'll
Mhm.
screen them, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Sometimes I screen it. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I trust you. If it's like Matthew really convinces you to do things, you're like, oh, Matthew, you're so like I'm
Yeah,
in.
we
I'm
gotta
so
go do this.
in. And
So
then you're
so
like, I'm in. I'm in. I'm in.
so
So
I've heard about this place, Lake Ozette, for a while, and I've always wanted to go there because it is a big lake that is on the Washington coast, out in the Olympics.
a
Um,
big lake out on the coast. Yeah, that is an
yeah,
interesting
it is. It's pretty
position.
crazy. It's a huge lake, but yeah, that's only about 3 mile gap between that lake and the Washington
I've actually
coast.
never thought of that.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like I
we
didn't realize how like big it was. We didn't like see. I didn't
it's
see
a
the
pretty
lake.
big
Like
lake.
I've seen it on the map, and you're like, okay, cool, but
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
not like
mean?
the biggest lake ever
Yeah, is it
in
like Lake
Washington,
Crescent
but
size? Like, put it in perspective,
a
'cause
little
that's pretty
smaller, not as deep,
massive.
but
Okay, but still that I mean, like, a long
you know, it's yeah, it was pretty
decent
decent.
lake. Anyways, continue.
Um, but the highways going up 101 on the coast go around this area and don't actually connect because that is all tribal land. There's
Mhm.
only one road that goes in and connects to the northern uh, highway that goes along the northern coast of the Olympics, and then that goes down, and then that's the only it's a one way or two lane highway to this Lake Ozette. Um, there's a ranger station, and then a couple towns or people's houses around there.
And I
Uh,
mean, okay, so, like, if you were to go one road, you'd go all the way up to Nia Bay. Yes, like Highway 101, you know what I mean? All
so
the way up.
Highway 101, yeah, goes all the way up. Well, and that connects right there to um, that goes in towards Crescent Lake and then to
Yes.
Port
Oh,
Angeles
yes,
and around.
yes. You're right,
And so
you're
then
right.
there's an
It goes
extra
up.
highway that goes from that connects to 101
Yeah.
right outside of Port Angeles that goes
Yeah.
directly to Nia Bay.
Yes.
And the only other major road then goes down. So
Okay, that's where
it's
Rosette's at.
yes, yes, indeed. So in our WhatsApp, we had a couple options for our Airbnb, and I said, "Ayo, for our annual sibling New Year's Eve trip, I vote number
Mhm.
3," and then I
Mhm.
provided the link. So I said, I don't think I visited Lake Ozette yet, and it's on my list. There's 2 hikes from the lake to the coast, both there and back, but there's a connector on the coast for a longer loop. Perfect for
Mhm.
a day trip. And if it's too shitty outside, we can visit the lake, then hang out by the river at the Airbnb because the Airbnb was right next to a river that connects into that lake.
And
And
like
then
8 miles down the road.
yeah, real close. So Cape Alava hike, 6.2, there and back, 100 feet elevation, LOL. I typed LOL. Oh my gosh. Sand Point, 6 miles there and back, 150 feet elevation. And then Ozette Loop connects the Cape Alava and Sandpoint boardwalk trails by a
Mhm.
3.1 mile hike on sand and rocky beach for a 9 mile loop. So, in quotes, turn left to head south along the beach, passing the ancient petroglyphs at Wedding Rocks, bearing visions of whales, hunters, and sailing ships. These old petroglyphs were carved by ancient ancestors of the Macaw tribe using various tools, including rocks and bones. And I provided an NPR link that is for the National Park Service
Mhm.
information page, and on
Okay.
there they have a simple map of the area, Lake Ozette. It has a ranger station. You can see 2 boating areas on the lake, and that's nice. And then the two um, the 2 hikes out to the coast, and then there's one to the south called Erickson's Bay. Um, there's a lively community. I'm looking at this information on this website. So wilderness permits are required for backpacking, year round. Contact them if you're planning to do this. Bear canisters are required for food storage. Campfire is not permitted between Wedding Rocks and Yellow Bank, including Sandpoint. Dogs or pets not permitted on park trail. Camping, campgrounds open year round. Maybe primitive, no water, and pit toilets only in winter. And then it's a little picture of the ranger station, a little bit of the trails. Safety alert: the boardwalks are very slippery when wet and frosty. Soft soled shoes like tennis shoes and lightweight walker grips on the boardwalk are better than stiff hiking boots with hard lug soles. Take your time and walk carefully. So, and then there's a bit about the culture and the history of the archaeological site, because there was an archaeological dig, um, because obviously there has been a lot of contact and a lot of indigenous people living there for thousands of years. And then,
Mhm.
was this page helpful? This is what the National Park Service provides. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that is for the Ozette Triangle. If
What
you
and
look it up, the Ozette Triangle.
Ozette Triangle. Last text. What say you?
Okay.
And then
What
you
say
said
you?
I. It's Lord of the Rings. It's the Lord of the Rings quote, Brittany. What say you?
I
My
um I understand that.
axe. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
I,
Jeez.
I can now visualize it.
There
Yeah,
you go.
holy shit. Okay, but Matthew, see, now I'm gone. Hit me again what I'm saying right now.
So, we decided
Oh,
after I said
Ozette
that
Triangle. Wait,
Ozette
hold on.
Triangle, like, okay, we got the hike, and
Yes.
this is the Airbnb that Brittany provided in the options. Let's lock it
Yes.
down.
Yes. Lock it down. So we locked it down. We got it together. And then our cousins called and they're like, hey, we're throwing this party. You guys should come. And actually, that was before I actually confirmed the booking. We were going to go Friday through Sunday. But then they called me, like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's very important. We were gonna go, 2 nights.
We usually go 2 nights.
We
We go
usually
a
go
night
two
and a
nights,
full day and then
the
a night
full
and
day,
then
and then you go
have
home.
so we usually have a lot more time to do it. So then we'd have a full day. So yeah, that is very important because we usually plan for a full day.
We
Okay.
full day.
So we did not do that. So we went over, but they live in Olympia, which is tight because that's like over an hour closer, I would say, correct? So that's
Yeah,
nice. So it got
ish.
us like down and we got to like go up. But we spent the night there and we got up very early. I think we left right at 6 a.m.
Yeah, we
Um,
we left straight at 6 a.m., but we got up
yeah,
at like 5:30
yeah, up
or
at 'em
5:45.
going. And so we made our way. And I mean, we were trekking it, Avi. And we were in Matthew's new car. We were feeling good about ourselves. And
Listening to Giz, I had
listen,
a whole new I had burned a bunch of CDs in preparation for this,
yeah, we were so ready. I mean, prep beyond prep beyond prep. We had food up the yin yang. We were freaking ready. We
and
had
it
our
is a
Honeycrisp.
beautiful as the sun comes up and we're driving, we get all the way up
Like Kitsap
over the
County, we're
Hookah
getting the
Bridge.
water on the
Then you're
curve.
on 101 getting to Port
Ooh.
Angeles, and then the sun's coming up, and
We
then
even saw a rainbow.
we saw
We
rainbows.
got a rainbow coming out of like a
The
cruise ship. That was sick.
rainbows and eagles, which are usually good omens.
Great
But we
omens.
were
Great
feeling it.
omens.
We were feeling it.
We were vibing, but remember, this is kind of a 5 hour journey.
Yeah,
We
yeah. So
are
we,
driving deep. We're not just going like highway up and up. We are going up and then down and over. And we're going to like deep thicket. We're in the boonies.
yeah,
Okay.
and I think I say as long as it's I figure as long as it's not super pouring, we could do a full loop. It's flat, and I want to see those glyphs on the beach. Uh,
Yeah.
we it's 100-foot elevation gain. It's a long loop, but nothing
Nine and a
that
half miles total.
we
Yes.
thinking we could do this. We could probably do this, get up super early, you know
Yeah. So
get it done in
I'm
a day.
trusting the process. Matthew's taking the lead. I'm like,
We're
sweet.
letting the
This kid's
universe
got it. Letting the universe guide it. We think we're going into, we're seeing rainbows and eagles and life is
good
good.
omens.
Great omen. I mean, we were feeling ourselves and we got Safeway cookies, which are just my thing and a half. And so
And
we were really set to go.
yeah, and then we were trying to get some food, and then I was hyping up this small clam shop, and
Yeah, so
crab
Matthew's like,
place
"Wait, wait, wait. There's a clam shop really close to where we're
that
going. Really close."
Crump and I hit when we went out this way. However, I was only off by what, 30 miles.
Yes. And
So
I think, yeah, it was
this is
what
the
day was
last
it? It's a
small
Saturday.
town before that you turn onto that highway, and then it's just the ranger station at the end of that highway at the lake. So this is basically the last small town to grab stuff. So uh, and
And yeah,
I've
there's like
stopped
a
at this
quick
little
mart and
parking lot.
stuff.
Yeah, there's a little parking lot at this beach. It's a beautiful little place if you just like go there and park. Um, but I had not gone into that grocery store.
So
That was
yeah, there
first.
was like this little tiny thing. I just found it on Google Maps and they were open and we go in and it's more of like a health food store, I would say. Yes. Um it
Just a
was like
real small town grocery store, really. Like, I
but
mean,
like kind of a
it's
little bougier than that, like a little more earthy.
yeah.
Um But then they had like a little menu and it was like deli. And then we asked the guy to the left, we were like, hey, well, they had a puzzle out on a table. And we are like, ooh, cool. And the guy's just staring at us. And I was
Yeah.
like, can we get food? And he was like, ask her. Okay. And then we're like, hey, can we get food? The deli, maybe? And she's like, oh, I can make you a sandwich. Thank
Yeah.
God. I think we had what? Like a
Just
turkey
turkey
or
and cheese.
cheese and honey mustard mayo. And it
Yeah.
was so good because, like,
It
it
was
had
hitting the
been a
spot.
morning. We had, like, been up the night before, kind of, doing shit with the cousins and hanging out, playing games, drinking. It's like, okay, this is
Yep.
good. Filling up.
Yep.
And then, so
Fueling
we
up.
make it there. We pass the Airbnb, right?
Yeah,
And we're
we
like,
see it.
oh,
It's like, okay, and we see the other car, like a car leaving,
yeah, so
as
we
we're
asked, it
driving.
was like, "Hey, could we maybe like drop our stuff off before and then like, at least we'd have our stuff safe from in the car." And she was like, "Actually, there's people there. Like, no, you can't." We're like, "Okay, cool. We'll just go straight to the campsite or straight to the trailhead and do this." And I said, "Hey, we're going on this hike, see you in a bit." Right? So we get there,
Yeah.
we park.
And nothing like don't do this loop or anything from this gal. I don't know.
I mean, you can go down and back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just all the
we didn't have to
reviews
spend
of
all day.
everybody
We'll
does a
get
loop.
there. We'll get there. So
Anyway,
we park and we're getting ready. And
I love
we've got a system. We've done this. And it's not like we just do this every New Year's Eve and that's all we hike. We go on these weekend adventures, these daily adventures often, especially when I was living in Seattle, especially during COVID. We
it.
were
Yeah,
out and about in the woods.
yeah.
We just
I
go.
have
So it's
my
like,
my
we've
camping
got
tote,
things. Yeah. Matthew's
and then
prepared.
I
Everything's
finally
packed.
have a vehicle that can actually take us out there instead of
Hmm.
grabbing the truck.
Yeah, so we don't have to like meet up at the parents. I mean, we do because they live there, but
So I
you
mean,
know,
we roll up and it's probably 10:45, 11, and it's sunny. The clouds have now parted, and it is now nice, beautiful, and getting clear. And so it's like, okay, we gotta go. We gotta pack up, pack everything, and we gotta go check the billboards before we
at the
start our
ranger
journey.
station.
Yeah, before we start our trip.
Yeah,
And so we go do that. So we go walk over to the billboards, and we both take pictures, of the maps, and we're reading through all the stuff, and then we even go into they have like the multicultural little like zigzag that tells
yes,
you about
trying to petroglyphs
the
or whatever.
tribe and everything. Fantastic information. I could have spent another 20 minutes just reading it,
Yeah,
but not pertinent to walking on the beach and stuff. So it's like, okay, we're good on the information. I think we got a plan. We know what we're doing.
yeah,
Let's go like pack up. So then I'm usually the one that's the pack mule. So I always have my big camping backpack that I bring a lot of stuff in. Um, and that
yeah.
usually always includes, air pads, an extra. We both had. I brought extra pairs of shoes because we're
Yeah.
going on a beach. And the last time I was on the beach, I had my long rubber waders. Didn't have those this time. Just wearing hiking boots. So it's like, okay, we got to have two of
Yeah,
those just in
you
case.
needed. Hmm.
Um, we got our waters. I was like,
Extra
okay,
socks.
we're gonna bring the larger waters.
Yeah,
Brittany's bringing the
like the
cookies
apples and the
and the apples
cookies.
and the
Yeah,
waters,
and the
and
waters.
then but then as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, okay, well, it's so beautiful. There's 4 or 5 other cars in the parking lot,
Hmm.
and there was a group that had just came back and were finishing up their overnight stay. So I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, I
yeah,
don't
well
like.
traffic.
I'm
There
trying
you
to
go.
like conserve space because I have to. I'm the 2 shoes. It's a lot of pack weight. So I take out the bear spray and I put that to the side. And I take out like I never use this little hand crank rinky dink emergency flashlight because I have my headlamp. And I'm like, okay, got that. Making sure. Those were the main things that I remember specifically taking out because they're so they're bulky in a weird way that it
Yeah,
doesn't fit well when I'm trying to like weight distribute the weight
yeah,
properly in that hiking backpack because it is
yeah,
like 40-50 pounds all said and done
yeah. And you've got
because
like a rain jacket.
I got rain jackets, we got
Matthew's
extra.
like ready to rock and roll. The only thing
Yeah,
that I don't have is my knife because Matthew got that taken away in TSA. Not bitter about it,
yeah,
but bitter.
yeah, I'm working on it. So so yeah, we're all geared up and it's like, okay, we got our hiking pants on, we got extra, we got layers,
Yeah, ready to
we
rock,
got
man.
we're ready to rock and roll.
We're vibing.
So we start our journey. We get on this boardwalk. Um
And
and
it
yeah,
is magical. It's like an enchanted forest. The green is just, and I mean, it's like fuzzy, mossy, very like wood. I mean, to think where we were at, we're getting closer to the whole rainforest. We're getting more into like the wetland. I mean,
but
we
there's
were in unprotected wetlands, I would say.
and and the crazy thing though is there is intermittent prairie, like grassland prairie. That's what
Yeah.
it was. It's like the Jumper rainforest, then a prairie, and then like it was line segments of that going into the coast, going up to this lake.
I mean,
Um,
it was nuts. The land, the
and
topography, the everything about it.
and it's an easy boardwalk. There's some steps here and there, and then we're just like joking about
Yeah.
how easy this is. We're like walking. Luckily we're not slipping too hard.
Yeah. Not too
It,
hard, but it's kind of fun, you know.
kind of a little
Like,
bit.
don't fall
But then
off. You
like
probably got like
don't
2
fall off,
feet
ha
to the
ha ha.
ground, right?
But like you could break your leg.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
3 feet. Um, but it's beautiful. And we're making good
Oh,
time. We're
man.
thinking, oh man, okay, if this
We're
is 3 miles,
killing it.
this is only like maybe 45 an hour. Like, okay, we got this, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna be a trek, and then
Straightforward shot.
it's straightforward. We
Yeah.
got this. Like
We're
literally,
killing
like
it.
you
And we're
said,
just,
we
yeah,
got it.
yapping, just chatting along,
The
having a good old
sun's
time.
nice right there, and so
It's just, yeah, chilling.
we're going through these different biomes, and we finally get to the part where the boardwalk ends, and then it's a little bit of actual trail as it crisscrosses down to the beach, and then once we lap it upon the beach,
Well, Matthew goes out first and he's like going down, and I'm just looking up. And I mean, it's like a sight to see. And I mean, we see ravens, a pair of ravens to the right.
they're
I mean,
crowing and
like,
following us as we're walking to the
which,
coast. And
holy
we're,
fuck.
we're
I'm
bowing,
not thinking about that.
we're trying to be respectful, and we're talking to the crow. And there was a guy that came walking up. He was like, "Oh yeah, you got to talk to him."
And these ravens, I mean, these are freaking massive birds. I mean,
Yeah,
they are big. So like those are off to the right. I am mesmerized by my surroundings. And
huge
I take
trees,
one, what'd you say?
huge trees just everywhere.
Huge. I mean, just like, and then like
You know,
big rocks out into the ocean. I mean,
yeah,
you're going into Narnia episode 3, I think. Like, whoa, you're going the freaking out into this ocean. And I am just, me, like, oh my God. Well, I step on this massive driftwood.
Because
I mean,
yeah, you
this
have
is like
it's a
trees are
beach.
down.
You have a full 10-foot section, 20-foot section of driftwood, and then beach, and then ocean. So
Yeah, and I mean driftwood is in not like oh driftwood, like I'm talking massive trees
huge.
everywhere, and like oh my God, huge. I take one step on my like right leg and I fall and I land straight on my knee, like my lower kneecap. My friend Haley, shout out to Haley,
Mm.
said that I definitely have a hairline fracture of my knee, and my entire from my knee all the way down to my ankle. And I was like, fuck! I just remember like shooting. I had not had that intense of pain probably ever. I think that
Yeah, so
was,
I whip around and I'm like, it's
yeah,
like
like
I
what the
just
fuck?
like fell and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, man, just like, oh, poor Brittany,
like,
wounded paw.
like,
I'm like,
like you
okay,
see it like
fuck
on the thing, and
you.
I'm like, I've done that where I've hit my shin like that, but
Yeah,
not
but
nearly as
like,
bad as this.
oh, this I hit it in the perfect spot to just ruin me. And
Yeah,
so, and
it's only
like,
6 miles left.
classic. Just got out to the beach, like first step I take on like non-solid ground and I'm completely fucked. Like, okay, cool, thanks. And so I'm making my way up, right? And which, is always embarrassing when you fall, you're just like, "Ah, it wasn't me." But then it like really hurt. And I am one to take pain easy. And this fuck. All right.
Oh man.
And oh, like I thought I'm probably like gushing blood down my shin. Like truthfully, I thought I was just whoosh. I
Yeah,
wasn't.
we're glad you didn't actually break your knee or like
Holy
shatter
smokes.
your
We
shin. Like I would have had
maybe
to
at that
somehow
point though, we would have just turned around.
we would have had to. No, I
Yeah,
would have
there's
had to
no
carry
way.
you basically. We would have to hobble
Yeah, that'd be a sight to see in itself.
3 miles
Okay,
back.
but so I
Anyway,
fell, and then it's like, okay, but like Brittany, let's go.
yeah, but like yeah, we got 6 more
Oh, we
miles.
gotta go. Like this is the
We got
hike.
3 miles on the
We
beach,
gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. And
and like
so
look at the sun. Like it's now one
yeah,
o'clock, and the sun's goes down at 5,
4:30.
4:30 ish, 5. Yeah, twilight.
So yeah, think that time schedule. Keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind.
It
So
is
like a
December
1:30, yes. Yeah, 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just start walking down. And this is not a flat, nice beach with nothing on it. This is like a weaving in and out.
It is
You're
at
jumping over those
points.
massive what?
It is at points. It's nice, but it's not solid sand at those points.
Yeah.
First of all, it's very shifty sand, and then
Yeah.
it's like rocks that have it's super low tide.
Yeah. Low tide and then big trees like down, like trees falling from shore down into ocean, like
Yeah,
big trees
crawl under,
like under or
walk
over. And you're
around.
like, yeah, do you go all the way out? Because those go all the way out into the water. You're going out. It's just a thick trunk. You got nowhere to go but up and over. So
Yeah,
we are just, it's like
you're
a
adding
jungle gym.
extra walking to it.
Extra wide, and your backpack's getting snagged. And then, you're having to duck. You're having to get on your freaking knees. So I'm just like, oh my God, every time. And I'd forget about it too. We're walking for a while. We're talking. Life's good.
And it's
And then I'd
beautiful. The
hit it.
clouds are all crazy.
And I'm like, oh, Matthew's like, what? I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. Just deep breath.
Yeah, and
Oh,
and
it was
so
rough.
like I had read a few like trying to find these wedding rocks. It's between the two, and they kept saying in between. Well, that's 3 miles. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, is it out there? Because it's way out. In the low tide, we were able to walk on those slippery ass rocks
Yeah.
to this big ass rock.
Yeah.
Of course, nothing's there. That's just a random rock that's
But
there.
it
Probably
totally
has
had
a
these
name.
like velvety creases. It
It
looked like a weird brain thing.
That
You know what
rock
I'm saying?
looked at us like it
It
needed
was
us to
calling
walk
to
on
us.
it, Yeah, so we had to do it, you know?
Matthew's like, "Brittany, we hit this rock. I think it's
I
over there. It's calling to you."
yeah, yeah, because you're not able to get to those big ass rocks usually, even in like low tide, you
No.
know.
Yes,
So
yeah, so
so
it's
we're,
like, this
we're
is
just
the time.
but we're yeah, we're in a hustled pace as
We
we're
are
doing
not stop I mean, we
our
are just
meandering.
going.
Yeah,
Do, do,
our
do,
pace
do.
is pretty good this entire time because it's like, okay, well, we got to go to that rock. We go to that rock, and it's like, okay, we look, nothing's here. Turn around, keep going, and so,
Well, and then, like, okay, so we're chugging along. Before we even get to the calling of the rock, really, we're like over near these campsites. And I mean, we are working up a sweat,
there's
walking down.
campsites all along this beach.
Yeah, all along this beach. But we saw this like cool one, and Matthew's like, "Oh, we let's go check out up here." We have not sat for a hot minute.
No, this is way later,
Yeah,
Brittany. This is
no.
4 hours later. No, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have pictures and I have checked the timestamps.
All right, fine.
No, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Okay, go.
This is before, or this is after. So, because we keep going, we keep going, and then it's
Okay.
like 2 miles more down the road. It is the next in the series of events, but
Yes,
we
I'm
have
just
like
saying.
we have another 2 hours of beach travel that
That's
is just
true.
majestic looking, and we are vibing with the ocean.
Ah, we
We're
are
just
just
like thinking,
vibing with the ocean.
I literally said, "Oh my gosh, there's nobody out here. This place is like made. This moment is made for
Yeah.
us. We are just experience. We're the only ones that get to experience this majestic time
Yeah.
at this
And the
beach."
clouds and like the colors were just
Oh
so
my gosh,
incredibly vibrant and
yeah,
then bouncing off of the water. I mean,
like
it was truly like painting.
yeah, and the clouds were so dynamic and fast moving.
Oof.
Even though us on the beach, it was not that windy, right?
No, no,
We don't,
no.
it was not that windy, but out there in the ocean, it was hella windy because those
Yeah.
clouds were moving.
Yeah.
They were
The only part that you were
swirling.
like thinking it was windy is when you'd keep walking and you might hit this patch of like dried seaweed shit and all these fucking bugs just fly up and swat you in the face.
Yeah, there was a
Now
lot of those
that felt like
gigantic
a
seaweed patches. Yeah, that was for a good long time of it too. You had to kind of
like the
you had to
whole
hold
yeah.
hold
Ugh.
your shirt over it because there was maggots and hordes of
Oh,
millions of
and just like
flies,
in your
and you
hair,
and
flying
then it's like the
everywhere.
only way to get across is just to walk, and then you'd step, and then you like, and you'd
Ugh.
hear them too, like the swarming, like
Yeah.
like
Oh, it was
oh my gosh,
gross. Oh,
it
it's
was
really giving
wild.
me heebie-jeebies,
So
man.
then the slippery rocks that are kind of out in the low tide, those seem a little bit nicer than the kelp, the fly kelp
Oh,
up towards the other line.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ugh. Oh,
So,
it was just really freaking bad. So, I mean, we were just on a pace
but
and we
we're
kept
on a pace.
trucking it and we'd come across all these like, yeah, little barriers, I would say. It was just this jungle gym of a thing. But like, okay, for instance, we had to climb. Well, we didn't have to. We thought it was
Wait,
okay. Ugh,
now we get to the jungle.
yeah,
Sorry.
the jungle. Well, okay. Well, we climb up into this little like thing and it looks like Tarzan trash camp.
Yeah,
Don't you say? Like
yeah.
like
So
a
this
plateaued
campground that's
campground.
back towards the other side
Yeah.
of the beach has a big tree. There's a little rope swing that has a piece of wood, and
Yeah.
so I
And a
get on
super
that.
sick campfire. And
Yep.
just like a nice log to sit on.
So then that's when you whip out your phone. You're like, "Oh, I gotta sing the song from Tarzan."
Yeah, I did.
And we take that video of me swinging on the thing, and we're do beep bop bada ba boop bop beep bada bada ba bada ba bop. Beep 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 bop beep choo bop choo bop dow. Do do do
Do wop should do.
do.
Woo! Yeah.
Woo! That one.
That one.
Yeah.
Yes, I did do that. Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, that was sweet. That was so funny. And
That
then
was
that's
amazing.
when we stopped. That's the first and
Oh,
only
yes.
time we're like, okay, because the sun is, it's probably 3:45 at this point, and the sun's a little bit up. It's
Yeah,
probably
like a 3:30
3 or 4
mark.
because it was just above the horizon
Yeah, we
when
were
we
like,
get
"Oh,
to
we
the
gotta
cliff.
go. It's getting a little dark."
When it gets to the cliff. Yeah, because like the seconds, because we were only there for maybe like 5-7 minutes, and it's
Max.
just like, and we're sitting there, and it's like, man, it feels like we're burning so much daylight. And it's like we're watching the sun go
Yeah,
down. It's like, oh
it's
man,
like
it's crunch time.
it's
Like
live.
yeah, we are still not to Sand Point because we know on the map that we got to get to Sand Point. However, we don't know what Sand Point looks like.
We're
So there's
thinking it's
two
gonna be
ways to do this hike.
magnificent.
You either
Sandport.
go Cape Alava south to Sand Point and then over, or you go Sand Point north on the
North.
beach to Cape Alava and then over. Now Cape Alava, the one that we came down on, that
Mhm.
has a big old sign that has a tide marker, and there is only one entrance, and it's very visible that like you see it because it is a clearing in the trees.
Yeah,
So like we know that like if we have to turn
yeah,
around,
there
we
it is.
can see that this is where it is.
Totally.
We do not have that reference for Sand Point.
No,
And we
we've never
kind of
done this before.
we're going off of this little map that shows some points along this southern route, but we're not seeing much. And so at this point, we haven't seen anybody in a long time, and we start seeing these tracks because I keep trying and wanting to go check out each trail marker that
Yes.
because that could be the
Where we
sign to
need to
go
go.
in, because that's where the first one was.
Yeah.
um it would have been great to have that on a map. Turns out there was a map, but we just didn't have it at the time of what those markers were,
Yeah.
of where those were. But I would have to, go in and then check out and like look around, kind of, inside that tree line,
Yeah.
and then head back out. And so it's crunch time. We end up going, and then it's like, okay, well, I see one of those up there, and there's a rope scaling this like side of this cliff, you
Yeah.
know. And so it's like, well,
A
we got to check it
pure
out.
cliff. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a pure cliff. It's like a rope on a cliff. It's like, well, I got to check this out, like just to make sure, and then maybe we get a view of where we are. Like, I don't know. So then there are little trails that go in on the top of that, but it's like there's nothing. It's just like a little
Nothing.
bit, like people just are there. But there's another rope that goes down. So it's like, okay, well, Brittany, come on up. And it's like, well, what do you think? And it's like, this isn't it. 3 miles means 3 miles.
We just kept repeating 3 miles means 3 miles. And like, remember,
That was
this
our
is
mantra.
sand. This is obstacle courses. This is like,
Yeah, this
hey,
is like
3 miles of this is
3 miles
very
for
different than 3
3 miles.
miles on a boardwalk.
Yeah,
3
like we
miles is
crushed that
3 miles.
boardwalk so hard that we're
So
like
hard.
underestimating the distance that we had
Yeah.
traveled because of the amount of energy and the amount of time that we had done it, and because we
Totes.
were keeping a steady pace. It's like,
Yeah.
there's
Killing it.
no
Crushing it.
way. There's
No
no,
way.
like, we have to be freaking close. But then we do see on the top of that, I remember, because like we see Sand Point, and it's like quite obvious that it is a sand point. It is a huge, big rock that goes like a dome shape that jets out. That's completely treeless, you
Yes.
know. So, but it's like, we're sweating, and then my glasses always fall off when they're sweating because I don't have my croquis on.
Mm.
So like I'm like huffing and puffing. We're all like we're wearing stuff, and it's like I'm starting to like little panic a little bit. Like, oh God,
Like,
we
we
gotta
just have
find.
not found the trailhead, and the
All we
sun
have to
is coming
do,
down,
all we
like,
have to do is
things are
find the
happening.
beginning of this boardwalk,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
as
we'll be
long as we
fine.
find this boardwalk, we know where we're
We
at.
got headlamps, we got phones, we got
Vibing.
light. We just got to find this trailhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then, yeah, we're totally fine. We're just vibing with it. We really do think, like, is that we just keep 3 miles means 3 miles,
yeah,
right? 3 miles
three
means
miles
3
means
miles.
3 miles. So, and then, Brittany's getting mad at me because it's like, what the fuck? Like, why would you make me climb a cliff? And the tide is technically coming in, but it's not, not in to use a tide detour. Of course, there's no signage that says it's a tide detour.
No.
It's just a rope on the thing on the
Yeah.
cliff.
But so then we're down again. I mean, like, we're trucking it along.
We're back down, and we're following a single track of footsteps.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is
But then
only a single set of footsteps traveling south on the beach on the sand.
yeah. But then again, I mean, we were pulled out to these rocks. You have to say, we were still off the shoreline. We
Yeah, so
walked
there's
out
different rocks and stuff because
because we're
there's
still
a
kind
beach.
of weaving. I mean, we're utilizing that it's low tide to get around certain things.
Oh, for sure.
We are
We're
out.
closer to the water than all the
Yeah, we're
driftwood.
yeah. And then at this point, we were kind of making our way out to more rocks, and it's like we still haven't found these petroglyphs.
Yeah,
Say
we haven't found the petroglyphs,
we
but we
haven't
know
found
where
the petroglyphs.
Sand Point is.
Yes. So we're like, okay, sweet. We just got to make
We
it to
can
this
kind of,
boardwalk. We're kind of like, we kind of got a little bit of
so
calmness in us. It's like
yeah,
chill. And we're pulled out to these rocks. And I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, this is like the golden hour sunset time, right? And that had the
yeah,
hook in the cloud. Like everything was just this like
yeah, yeah.
maniac of a moment.
Oh
And
my
we're
gosh, it
like,
was just
whoa, the
beautiful.
universe is being so good to us today. And
Yeah,
then Matthew
I
just
start yelling. I give
like
out a
lets out
good
a roar.
like because
Like,
I
yeah,
I remember having the thought we haven't seen a single person all day. We're traveling by footsteps. Like I can give a primal yell to the sun as it goes
yeah.
down because I need this.
Oh,
Ah!
yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, overjoyed. And I giggle and I kind of stumble on my feet and I turn left to the shoreline and I go, bears. And I see this mama and two cubs, black bears, on like the driftwood, on top of the driftwood. I mean,
They're on the driftwood. Yeah.
so think of that. We're all on the shore. we're
Yeah,
all on the
we
shore.
just like are passing a rock. We're having a moment. We're looking out on this beautiful the sunset. We kind of I look over. Boom.
Yeah, so I'm like, bears. And I said it out loud. And I go, what do we do? And Matthew just gets big. And he
So
just
yeah, I turn
starts
over.
yelling.
Yeah, so she's like, "What do we do?" I was like, "Get big and get loud." So then I start projecting, as loud as I can. Hey bear, how's it going? We're over here. Don't mind us. We're
Yeah,
not here to threaten you. You got two beautiful little cubs. We don't want nothing to do with you. We're
yeah,
gonna keep walking. I just need you to
yeah.
stay over there. Don't come any closer.
Yeah, so I'm getting big too. We're both, and Matthew's got just tears running down his eyes. I mean,
Yeah,
it
because
is
like
like,
the adrenaline starts pumping. So then
oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
ah,
Oh.
like, we're just making
Matthew's like,
fun.
don't fuck with my
Yeah,
sister.
don't even try to. Don't. This is my beach now. You
Yeah.
can take the driftwood. This is my beach.
Oh
You
my
do
God.
not come on my beach. And so, and then somehow your kombucha bottle fell. So then I'm hitting
Yes,
it with a
we're
rock.
hitting the yes.
Ding,
Yes.
ding, ding. And I'm just still yelling at ding, ding, ding. And then we're kind of like slowly doing a little side step. And, I see this bear. And it's, the mom and the two cubs behind it. She does the sniff. Like
Yeah,
she
the
does
nose
the nose
up.
up and does the sniff. And that's when I got aggressive. Like, no! You do not sniff. I need you to get the fuck away from us right the fuck now. Ah! And I started yelling at this bear. Then it kind of, it doesn't. Oh, and then it
Who
turns
can be more
around.
insane?
Oh, and I'm just yelling, waving my arms, just primal at this point.
Yeah.
You do not want to fuck with me. And so this bear, turns around
Oh my
and
god.
and,
And they
and
start
starts
running
walking.
off.
It doesn't run, but I mean, it starts
It like
walking off. And so it's like,
jumps off.
okay. And it's like, okay, Brittany, we don't want to run. We have scared off a bear. This is our territory now. Let's walk. You don't want to make it curious. Luckily, it's a mama bear, so and it has two cubs. So I figure it is more concerned about its cubs' safety than being curious about us. If it was a little male bear, it could have been nice and curious. But
And just
brown bears are scaredy bears, or black bears are scaredy bears.
So praise be.
Yeah, thankfully. So then we start, walking, and then once we start going, it's like, okay, now let's get the food. Like, let's start.
Yeah,
booking.
like we gotta start. And I mean,
now we notice that the sun's completely gone. It is now twilight hours. Yes. We're on the beach. We see Sandy Point. We're coming up to it.
And so, and I mean, it's kind of starting to drizzle too. My phone's getting cold. I've got 10% battery. Our adrenaline, and it's
our adrenaline's going. We're like,
you don't know if you want to cry, scream. It was just like, let's get to the fucking boardwalk.
Boardwalk to boardwalk.
Like 3 miles means 3 miles. We gotta go.
Sure. Do we see these freaking? Do we see these?
Tracks. We're looking for
tracks. Do we see the tracks? We're still trying to find these goddamn tracks.
And so as we're
where do we go in?
Yeah. So we want holy fuck, we need to know where these signs are. What the hell?
So as we're coming closer to Sandy Point on the beach, we look over and something catches our eye in our heightened awareness of our surroundings and and it's more of we kind of stop and we're just kind of curious. Wouldn't you say? It's more of we kind of took a breather.
Well, because I didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know what it was either.
There's a giant, 8-10 foot long sea lion.
Than that, 12.
It was 12. Yeah, it was massive.
It was huge, dead up on the shore. And I mean,
dead,
not
brand new fresh within a day because it was not bloated. It was just starting to sink in, and so.
And I'm like, oh, I want to take a picture.
And then it's and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, we could take one picture, but this is the reason the bear was here. This is the bear's dinner. We need to get the fuck away from this carcass. Oh my
so that's when we started really running. And that's when we ran through water.
We truly started running.
Oh my god, I felt like I was military.
Because you took one picture of it, very blurry, and then it was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
We gotta go. And it was cold. I mean, it was getting colder.
It was getting cold.
And the week before, Seattle was in that ice storm thing that people were sliding down that went on TikTok, remember? And so the weather was whack. And then this weather was okay, it's getting warmer, but we're still December 31st, I mean, we're still winter time on the beach in Washington. That's always cold, but in wintertime, we're talking hella cold and drizzly and just wet. So we see the carcass. We're like, okay, whoa there, champ. And then keep going. We're running.
We're now running towards this sand point. And then we cut in because there's all these trails that kind of lead in. And so we still have some visibility,
Yeah.
and we find that this area by Sand Point is a gigantic interconnected campground that has all of these little campgrounds and these little back trails that connect to each other.
And
So
toilets.
lots of toilets, lots of good
So many
signage,
toilets.
great signage for where the toilets are,
Yeah.
not for, how many miles on the beach to the next, freaking area. No, none of that.
No.
None of that. So we're like, okay, we gotta find this now. We gotta go. So we're freaking going and like trying to trailblaze through some of these trails, and we get to the one sign that was a sign
Yeah.
with a
There's like
yellow
the
paper.
yellow, and then
You
it
remember what the
says
bear? Remember what
caution, bear area. And we're like,
bear sightings?
cool, 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 cool,
If
cool,
only
cool.
that bright yellow sign was on the public billboard at the beginning of the hike. That would have been quite helpful. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I would have
Yeah.
taken the bear spray. There was
So
no
yeah.
bear indications on this billboard or in the things at the beginning of the hike. That I would have stressed. I would have not. I would have had the bear spray. It was dumb to take it out. I will never do it again in my life. However,
Hear that,
man,
Mom.
I thought bears hibernate. I was wrong. They don't
Yeah.
on beaches.
But we'll get to more of that later.
Anyway, so, but we see a toilet, and then now it's dark,
We're
and
so
we're in the
confused.
woods.
Yeah. And
We're
it's
so
like, okay,
confused.
let's whip out these headlamps we've got. Let's get the lighting,
And yeah, let's look at the phones. Let's see if we can,
Yeah.
maybe see where we are.
And
We got to
the
assess this.
headlamps
Yeah, maybe
were
Google Maps show, where it is.
where we are specifically. Like maybe we can get more things. No, headlamps are dead.
Headlamps are dead.
There are no extra batteries for all the shit that Matthew brings
We have,
places.
yeah, of course, we don't
No
have,
emergency light.
the external batteries for our phones. Both of them are like at 10% because I forgot to put mine on airplane mode. My bad.
And I did, but my phone dies very, very quickly. We know this.
Yep. So we had to make some decisions. So it's like, okay, we were able to take it off of airplane mode real quickly to use the GPS to find where we are, to see if Google Maps had where the thing is. So, but it shows some of those trails, but there's so many of them that we're walking on all these trails, and we're trying to figure out which one we are at. And so the map that we had from the beginning has a little dotted line that goes south of Sand Point. And so the Google Maps had another thing that goes a little bit north, but it goes a little too far
in and around. Like
in and around. So I'm like, that can't be it, because it says it's straight, this way.
Yeah.
And so another thing about the picture of the map that we took, this map on the public billboard has north facing down. So the map itself is upside down. So Brittany's confused on, where we are in relation, like where we are vis-a-vis the Google Maps and the paper maps. Completely justified because she was trying, your normal maps in your GPS mode, if you move around, it'll move with you. The north and south will move. And I was like, no, you lock that. North south is north south. We know that this whole beach is north south. We got this other map that is flipped, so I have to go into the image settings, flip it. This is all 10% battery. I'm sweating, adrenaline. We're panic mode. So we're like, and we're yelling all of this instruction to each other because there's a bear in the area. And as we're walking through these things, I'm whistling like a madman, as like Susan.
And it's like, I'm not mad at you, but
I'm not mad, but I'm not
out.
understanding where we are. And I'm like, I get you. So I
but
finally,
there was panic.
there was a lot of panic, and the panic set in really when this darkness. It's like we
Yeah.
scared off a bear, but when the darkness came, oh, that's
Yeah.
when the fear comes. Um, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we finally situate the maps to where I can show her on the split screen, like when you're going in between apps on an Apple, the maps, the sand points line up. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you see how this is where we are. Like, I think we need to go south, and
Yeah.
then you're like, I think we need to go north, and then it was like we try it one way, and then Brittany's like, you need to lead, and it's like, well, I can't see because it's
Yeah.
now
It's
dark,
blind.
and my glasses, it's too foggy, and they keep falling off because of the sweat.
Yeah.
Brittany's face is just like completely wet. You see the shine of the moon on, like, like we see each other just simply
Oh my
because
god.
of the sweat reflecting off the moon.
Yeah.
Um, so then we like, okay, I'm like,
But
I
then
want,
so Matthew kind of when he gets very
oh
panicky, I mean, he gets panicky.
no,
I mean, and he gets whiny and he's like, "Brittany, Brittany, Brittany." And they get the and I go,
ah,
"Matthew, don't be a whiny bitch and you
yeah,
need to calm down." And he's like, "Okay." And it was like real talk right now. We're talking real talk. We need to call. We need to get
we
rescued
need,
is what the
yeah,
next
yeah,
step was.
yeah,
We're
we
gonna
got
get
to call
rescued tonight.
911. We
So we
only
get off
have,
airplane mode, both of us, 911, no service. Fuck the everyone for
yeah.
thinking emergency services work. Oh my god.
They
Like I
probably,
thought we
if
had
we had
more
a proper
technology than that.
GPS, or if like there's a whole slew of things that like, but yeah, for sure. If
What
you
the
don't have
actual fuck?
service, you're totally fucked. Like,
And I mean, in the moment too, it's like we could die. You know, who the fuck knows what
we
happens in
need
these
to at
woods at
least
night?
let them know that we are out here and going
Yeah,
to
we don't have
survive
an
the
overnight
night.
permit,
Yeah,
Audrey.
we don't have yeah, we just need to make
Like
sure that people know that we're out here, and like
we have no
we do know
tents.
where we are, you know, if they need to come get us. Like there's,
Yes.
if they need to come get us via the beach, we know how to
Yes.
do that. We're at Sand
Yeah.
Point.
And also we're like very close to Canada-ish, and so it kept going to French a little bit and like
Yeah.
Colin trying to like get into Canadian shit. And it was just like, okay, then it was like
And that was draining the battery even
that
more.
was yeah, it's like shut this shit down. We need and it's like back to again. Real talk, Matthew. That didn't work.
Okay.
No. Like
So
our number one emergency system did not
So
work.
yeah,
That's
so
let's
after
go.
like it's like okay, because yeah, when we're walking back and forth and I can't see shit, where she's asking me, I'm whimpering, and like I like so funny,
Whimpering.
like whimpering, and it's like oh, like there's a quiver in my voice, like
Oh, it was not
the
good.
like the adrenaline has now settled, and like
Yeah.
the fear of okay, we gotta like oh god,
And it's
uh,
getting cold, and we're also
it's
wet. We
getting
still have wet feet. We have not switched out our
we have
shoes at
not
this
switched
point.
shoes,
We are
yeah, because
still,
we had
like,
to cross a little part of the
walking in the
yeah,
soggy, we're
because the tide was
just
coming in.
miserable
Yeah,
and
just
whimpery and just sad, and it's just like, well, we have an
like
Airbnb we're supposed to be at.
yeah, there like if we could have found this boardwalk, it would have been such a different story, and if we would have been maybe 2 hours before starting, it
Yeah,
would have been a
you
different
know,
story. All
if we
all
had
of the
all
shoulda, coulda,
day
wouldas, yeah. So so it's like, okay, we stop. Okay, now we have to take stock of what we have. Let's go through a checklist. I
without a
have
flashlight.
I have my extra pairs of shoes for both of us. I have
Mhm.
my air pad. I have these extra layers. You have these layers. We have two water
Quilt.
bottles. We have the small Nebraska quilt.
Yep.
We have two emergency ponchos. We have the apples and
Safeway cookies.
these Safeway cookies, and then that's it. So we need to find basically a proper place to camp that we can basically stay. But we don't have again light search properly around these beautiful campsites because we had now like we knew we knew where we were on the beach
Yes.
because it was clear and there was
Mhm.
some moonlight coming around.
Yeah.
So once we got in out of the elements because it's hella windy and it's
Yeah.
hella wet on the
On the
beach
water. Yeah.
on the water at night in the middle of winter. It's
Yeah.
like not you don't want to be on the beach in the elements. We got to be
Yeah.
inside.
And then you think,
Organic
okay,
form.
we've climbed a few cliffs today. We have no idea
Oh,
when we're
oh, oh, oh!
stepping.
We forgot to mention in this frantic panic, my right calf completely seizes up, completely cramps up to a point where I now then can't walk. Like I am peg legged, and like it is a tight fist, and it is excruciating pain. And so Brittany also forgets about this, and then I forget about her leg injury. So we're both hobbling
We're
at this
rough
point,
shape.
and it's like we can't really explore. Like we just gotta find a place, and at this point it's
Yeah.
only 5:30,
Yeah.
5:45. Like we had just within an hour gone from look at this majestic beautifulness to bears,
Bears.
carcass, darkness.
Darkness. And then, we are in Washington. It is wet. We can't light anything on fire that we didn't
Yeah,
bring.
we
You know
have a
what I mean?
lighter. We have one
There's
or a couple
no
pieces of
dry
paper.
wood.
I have some extra receipts in my
Yeah.
wallet.
Just not, we're not going to
And
play with that.
I tried. We found some. It was dead grasses, but they were wet dead grasses
Yeah.
for Tinder. So
It
that
was just not going to work. But okay, so then we like sat down. Matthew's pumping it up. He's getting kind of things
so I get
settled
out the
in.
air pad
Yeah.
because luckily, you want something that's off of the ground at least. And we go past the driftwood right after the initial tree line.
Mm-hmm.
Because anything further in was getting way too dark.
Yeah.
And we were able to find a relatively flat area that had some ish cover.
Yeah.
Had we like, we'll talk about that later. Anyway,
Yeah, so I mean, like we blew it up, we laid it out, but
and I keep apologizing. I just
yeah,
keep saying
Matthew
I
is just
am so sorry.
Brittany. I am
Like
so
this is
sorry,
I fucked
Brittany. I'm
up.
so sorry.
Like
And by this point, I mean, like I'm cold. I mean, it got down to like 34 degrees, and my gloves are a little wet. Like everything's
yeah,
tucked in.
she
I'm
doesn't
like
have the proper amount
shaking.
of gloves.
Yeah, they're not waterproof,
Yeah,
so need those
they're
for
not winter
Christmas.
grade. I had good
Yeah,
gloves.
and
My but we immediately put on all the layers
all the layers, change
and
shoes, change
changed
socks.
shoes.
Yeah.
And it's like okay, well, we sat there for
Yeah, so
maybe
then
like
it's like,
5 minutes
it's setting
and we're
in that we're
cuddling.
like, well, this is happening to us. This is happening to
So
us.
yeah, we just have to wait 12 hours until the sun comes up, at 6 o'clock
Yeah, which
or
ended up being
at
like
5:36.
7:30. And it was
You
like,
know,
well, we're in the winter time. So we just had a hell of a time. We were 12
we
hours
had a
solid.
lot of time.
A lot of
We had
time to think
nothing
about
but
what we
time.
did.
A lot of
Um,
times to marinate.
Yeah, a lot of time for Matthew to marinate. I honestly, I have a lot of blame on Matthew, and I shouldn't
No,
blame
for
it all
sure.
because obviously, but hey, it's a perfect
I
opportunity.
blame
There's
myself
so many
for
things I
a
know,
lot of
which you
the high
shouldn't blame
tides.
yourself fully because I fucked up too. I could not read those maps at the time. I definitely had a picture of one of those maps. I
We
know.
have a lot of survival skills that we got to brush up on
Oh my God,
before we
we
do
were
our next
grounded the fuck by
stop.
nature, just like
Yeah, yeah.
bitch, be
We
gone, be
the
humble.
hubris, yeah, the
Oh my
sweet
god.
hubris.
But okay, hold on. So we are like, first of all, sleeping and like cut. Well, no. First of all,
So
hold on, back it up. We sit down and Matthew is like still in a whimpering state. And I go, hey,
I'm just
you
like
know, like what
count us.
what do we have that we could do right now that would just we have ample amounts. And that is weed. What can you do? And Matthew, that's like, therapy is rolling a joint. And so Matthew rolls his joint and he's like
The
better already.
yeah,
Instant
it's
better
like
just by
okay,
rolling a joint.
I yeah, and luckily it's not raining, it's not
Yeah.
windy, and it's like
Yeah.
okay, yeah, no, I can roll a joint.
You
Let's
can
just
roll a joint.
let's get
Breathe.
to this moment. We've
Yes.
decided we're staying the night.
Yes.
I've got this set up.
Yes.
let's calm ourselves.
Yeah,
You know,
and, like
we have a long time to be
yeah,
here. We gotta
and we
settle
are
in.
not going to have a fire, and we are not going to have a we were nauseous at that I was nauseous. There was, like I could not eat for shit. And there was
Yeah,
and
no.
oh, it was
And
like,
it's like
the
and it's like,
bears. Every
yeah, there's
hour we'd
bears.
just be
We
like,
just kept saying bear.
"Bears." We
We
saw
just kept
bears.
repeating bears. Like, oh my god, that
Bears.
just happened. Bears. Like, oh god.
Bears.
It would be like, an extra 20
Fucking
minutes, just like, oh
bears.
man, bears. And so, in that time, so yeah, it gets real quick after we spoke that, because it's literally we're sitting next to each other.
Yeah,
We smoked
huddled.
that, we calmed down, and it was good to have a little bit of heat,
Yeah,
honestly. Um, and it's like, okay, well, um, this isn't very efficient for heat. We
yeah,
have to like just immediately start cuddling side by side,
yeah.
to conserve heat at this point. Um, and so, my Nebraska quilt, it's awesome. It has a nice mink side, but it is
Minky
a
side.
small minky whatever. It is a small square, so it's
Yeah.
only 5 feet by 5 feet. So you have to kind of do it sideways in order to get the full body if you're in a
Yeah.
fetal position, but it still doesn't even cover all the way around your back or your side.
And that's like if
Um,
you're not with 5 layers of clothing
yeah,
on
if you're
and
if you're
boots.
just like sitting on your couch, it's great for over
Yeah.
your lap.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that. But
Yeah,
not.
so we go fetal
But I don't
position.
have my 8 foot or 10 foot
No.
long gigantic quilt.
No, but we had the sleeping pad, and then it was us, and then yeah, I had
And then
the
so yeah,
quilt.
you had less layers than I did because I had
Yes.
to put on my denim jacket, which was
Yes.
completely soaked through, by the way,
Yeah.
um, and then put on my rain jacket
Yeah.
because your soft shell, you know, exposed in rain is shit.
Yeah.
you know, but
Thank
my
you.
my pure rubber
Yeah.
rain
Yeah. Yeah.
jacket was great. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to make sure Brittany's layered up
Yeah.
properly, because then I'm gonna be fine because
I
I'm
was
properly
shaking,
layered
man.
up. I have good gloves,
Yeah.
and so you know, and I'm like, if there's ever an emergency for ponchos, it's now. If there's ever a time for emergency ponchos, this is
Oh my
it.
god.
This is it.
And so,
So
like, we're on our sides, and I mean, I am old. I sleep with a head pillow, an arm pillow, and a leg pillow. And
yeah,
we didn't have any pillows.
so we were
So
using my arm to start,
yeah, poor
and then
guy. And
my
I'm
arm
like,
is
I can't
getting
do that.
killed. My
Yeah.
shoulders just getting absolutely riggedy wrecked because we were only able, because you can't really like switch sides very easily on
And it was at a
a
slight
three
incline.
foot wide air pad, you know, on cold, wet
Oh,
ground next to a beach. So, so I end up getting the idea that you could use your shoes
mhm.
as a pillow,
Yeah,
and
I
then
used
I
a
end
shoe
up
as a pillow.
using your metal water bottle as my pillow,
Yeah.
and then I had yeah, a little extra thing between that, because I had a hood on. I had two hoods on.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I had the tall smart water bottle between my knees.
Yep, because
Oh,
again,
my hips
her
were
leg
killing
and
me.
her knees were so bad, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
my leg was still recovering from being so tight that like any
Oh,
movement
good.
was just excruciating. And so then immediately, we're having to just sit there and like and then like those injuries marinate while
No.
we're laying there. Um and then periodically throughout the night, it gets progressively colder and colder, and then I'm on the outside of Brittany, and so and then I have her covered with the quilt and the poncho. I have the rest of it, and then I have my big backpack behind my butt and my back, because
Yeah.
that reduces the wind on the butt in the back, and then I had your backpack
Hmm.
covering between my legs,
Mm.
And then I would go out periodically to the tree line and have to wrestle pine branches off of the pine trees, which was a double-edged sword because I had to pick because it's like, okay, well, I can't really see, so I don't want to walk over all this driftwood and potentially, as I'm ripping and
Yeah.
roaring because I don't have a saw or a knife,
Yeah.
and fall and like hurt myself while I'm trying to do this. But also, I need this. But then at the same time, that is what is breaking some of the wind. But I figure it's better as insulation and warmth for us than a windbreak. It's better to be on us than just over there.
Yeah.
So it's like every hour, every 2 hours, I'd get up, and when I got too cold, I would go rip off a couple more branches, get my heart rate up, and
Mm-hmm.
then go back. But
And then cover us. I mean, you like.
and then cover us. So
I
it was
woke
a
up in a hobbit
full.
hole.
Yeah, for sure. We had a bunch of branches, and I feel bad for all those trees having to rip them, but like
Oh, but like
this
I
was
had,
survival mode.
yeah, I was like pine
But
up my nose.
we, we're amped up at the beginning, and so
Yeah.
it's amped up. We're cold, so
Yeah. It's not like we're
it's like I'm
sleeping.
yeah.
It's also
Eventually,
6 o'clock.
yeah. So we have hours. So we're talking.
we're
And
we're
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 going
going
through.
over
Okay,
what went wrong.
yeah, what went wrong? Like, one, I don't have my bear spray. One, I didn't check the flashlights. I should have brought the extra phone charger. All like some of these things. Um, and then it's like, okay, well, like, did we do correctly? Like, what would happen if that bear actually attacked? It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
well, you try to get a stick. It's the same thing if a dog tag. You put a stick or something between you. If you have to, you sacrifice your arm and then beat the shit out of it with your
Yeah.
like beat the mouth and the eyes. Like, go straight for
Yeah.
the eyes with the other hand.
Yeah.
Um, and then like we had all these rocks around us. It's like you would do that. So it's like, um,
So
luckily,
it was black fight back, brown lie down, polar
yep,
you're fucked.
yeah, you're fucked. You're dead. If the polar bear is at you, it has hunted you. You have been hunted by a
Yeah.
polar bear. Yeah.
Really?
No, they hunt people. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So anyway, yeah, if
Anyways.
you're getting stalked by a polar bear, you are being hunted. So
Oof.
you find
Woof.
safety, get out of there,
Yikes.
get a helicopter or something.
Yeah.
And so, but
Anyways,
then
black
also, I'm like, I got to take responsibility for this. Like, I think maybe the bad vibes were hanging over this little trip of ours on the beach
bear.
because I had been lying to Brittany for about a month,
Lying
lying through my teeth like I never do,
for a
not
month.
for a month,
That's so
about
long.
being employed. I had lost my job and I had
Unemployed.
been just like, because it was, holiday season. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. And then it was
Yeah.
like going to see all the family. And then if I told Brittany would definitely say something to mom or like say something that would make mom think, and then I'd have to talk about it. And then,
Yeah.
so I was feeling real guilty and real ashamed and embarrassed about all of that. And I needed to talk to her about it. And I've been trying to figure time. And part of that time was going to be on this trip. And I had figured we would be back at home watching Netflix, playing
We'd
Movie
be,
Cube, and be like, oh, Brittany, I have to tell you something.
and you'd
Playing
be like,
Movie Cube.
"Oh, Matthew, poor baby."
Yeah, let's have some tea and talk about it.
Yeah.
No.
We were not in those instances. It was like Mother Nature's like, "You think that? You've been lying."
Yeah. Fuck you. Never do that again. Like, ever. All right.
You just
Sounds
lost your
good.
privileges.
Yeah.
Oh my
Jeez.
god. It's fucked
So,
up.
it was a discussion on the who, where, when, why, how that happened, and what I was going to do from there, what I could change and work on in myself, and how we were going to crush 2023 now that the truth was out. which was fantastic,
Yeah.
and well needed. But you know,
It was a little rough
the lead up
road.
to that conversation was a little hard, you know.
Oh my gosh. And then
Jesus.
the thing is I still had to keep that from the parents until last fucking week. It's March, everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Here we are, 3 months later, and I
So
finally
first I
just.
would like to say, Matthew, I did it.
Oh man, my eye has been twitching for the last like month. It has been pretty bad, and I'm
Mm,
pretty sure like the reason my leg has not healed since then, like it has been a continuous problem since
yeah.
specifically that weekend,
Yeah.
is because of just being lying and not being truthful.
Yeah. Dude, it does
Just the
rot the
stress of
soul.
that, and so it's like, man, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Put your body into a different
I
level.
gotta heal,
You gotta release that shit.
release it. Yep,
Yeah, my leg
it's getting
still hurt.
better.
My knee still hurts, but it's because it is legit. I had the biggest bruise of my life there for about a month and a half. It was green on that
Ugh.
shin bone, and then it would creep up and it would get close to the knee, and then I'd get a bruise like a month later. It was late January, and I was just getting bruises on my shin, and it was like, man, this sucker killed me from the inside out. I mean, it really like, whew, it did a
Yeah,
number on me. But
yeah.
okay, so we go through our evening. Matthew's very apologetic. I'm kind of
I'm
being
saying
a
so sorry,
bitch.
but we're still cracking jokes,
We're
and
still cracking jokes
and
because
it's
then
like,
it's
well,
like,
and
look what
like,
you did.
okay, yeah, like what other predators? Like there's coyotes, there's probably some deer out
Cougars.
here, some raccoons. Like we're gonna
Yeah,
be fine. Um, at this point, like we're fine.
we're fine.
We've scared off the bears.
It's just
They know
cold. It's
it's
like
just
34
cold,
degrees. And so I'm
and
like shaking
throughout the entire time, I think we probably fell asleep for maybe 20, 30 minutes at some point. I
on and
heard her
off.
a little snore, she just heard me a little snore, but it's like
Yeah.
we're just trying to survive. And
Yeah.
I am praying to all of the water gods that I know from history
Oh,
that it
man.
should not rain and it should not snow this night,
Oh,
and just like
gosh.
hoping, like, oh, I'm being
So
so
might
thankful
it
that
be.
it was not miserable. It could have been
Yeah.
rainy, hail. It could have been a whole mess of slew of things in
It
winter
could have
on the
been
coast,
way, way, way
and it could
worse.
have been fast. Like
Yeah.
we had a gradual. It got down to like 34th, I think.
Yep.
We checked it, um, and that
Yeah,
was
it was
and it was
really
right at the darkest. So the moon was out for a very long time because I kept having to get up and get more uh, bedding,
yeah, Hobbit
pine
Hobbit
bedding.
whole thing.
Yeah, Hobbit hole pine bedding. So I kept
Yeah.
seeing the thing. So I at one point had pretty good visibility,
Yeah.
um, in terms of like seeing around. But it's like, okay, it is 36. We have like our makeshift shelter. It's
Yeah.
not raining.
Yeah.
We're still fine, because I kept thinking, if it's bad, we'll have to go somewhere else anyway. So next morning, sun finally peeps up, and it's like, okay, let's start going. And so we start traveling south, because I thought it's to the south.
Yeah. So we start walking south. We start walking south. And we are not
We
we find the other trail. We saw the
we find
Erickson
the other
trail.
trail, but we see a deer that's just chilling, and it
Oh,
has
yeah,
slept.
like a
Yeah,
big deer.
and
And
it was
Matthew's
like
like,
next
"Oh,
to
we were
us.
safe."
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were. Yeah, it was a big ass deer, just like chilling, like
And it
within
did
20
not
feet from us.
move.
It was
When
just
we
like,
went over
okay,
by it, it just looked at us and
like,
we were like,
good
"Oh, hey,
morning,
yeah, we slept in the same spot. We are
Yeah,
animals."
yeah.
Thank you. And
So
so we're making our way around here. We are not finding it. We are finding dead ends after dead. We're going down and up and over,
more
and it's just
toilet
like, no.
signs.
Yeah, more
Freaking
toilets.
a.
We got to get out of here. So I'm like, we got to go north. We just got to, but we ran into that most southern trail, and it was like, okay,
So
sweet. That was
finally, yeah.
on the map. We know this is to the south. We need to
But
go
we're
north.
going on mental memory of the map at this point.
Yes, I had
The
1% when
phone's
we woke up. Matthew had 0. It's just the way it is. So we make our way back up the shoreline, And it's like, okay, we end up going in where we were the night before, where that fucking bear sign is. On the
Yep.
side of that,
The yellow frequent bear side is.
the yellow bear sign, underneath it, it says RS, engraved and just carved into a piece of wood. So Ranger Station doesn't even write out the whole thing. It just says that, and it's got like a broken arrow.
But that's the perpendicular to the toilet sign. So we saw the toilet one.
Yeah, we
That was,
saw.
the way
We
that we were
were
walking.
there.
If we had turned around, it was right behind us.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. And so we find that and we're like, Matthew's excited. And I'm like, this is not over until we're at the car. Like, I don't believe
Yeah.
anything until we get to a vehicle. And so we're walking. And I mean, it's getting sunny out. It's kind of getting nice out. And we're just walking. And
It's a
it
beautiful
is
morning.
New Year's Day.
Yeah,
And
it's New
people
Year's.
just start hiking out to us. They're coming on the boardwalk from the
It
parking
is
lot.
only 20 minutes in from like finding the boardwalk, getting on the
Yeah.
boardwalk, walking the boardwalk.
Yeah,
You
people
see
are
people coming
outside, it's, like,
in,
crazy, and
starting
they're like,
their
"Good
their
morning,
group.
how are ya?" And we're like, "Hi," and they're like, "Happy New Year." We're like, "Happy New Year," and then, okay, we keep walking, and, like, our eyes are big, we're like, "Jesus Christ, we do not wanna deal with fucking human people," and so we keep walking, we see other people, and they're like, "Hey, do you know what time it is?" And we were like, "No, we have no sense of time, actually. We don't even know what time it is."
We don't know what
Like,
time it
we
is.
are the wrong people to ask right now, like, "No, thank you. Sorry, bye."
They just
And
kind of look like weird. They're like, okay.
yeah, and we were booking it on this trail back. It was just like, we are tired, we
Yeah.
are, like, running out
Injured,
of water, we're injured, we haven't had
no
coffee,
food, no
no food,
coffee.
like, we just were on one, and so we see the car, and we check out the signage, right? We're looking at more just to see.
So no, yeah, we double checked that public sign, and
Yeah,
no, it did not have anything. We
yeah,
go to the ranger station. That's where they had all of the very nice detailed coastal maps and all
yeah.
of the tide maps, tide charts, and all of like here's the cougar sightings, here's where they saw all the bears,
There's cougars
here's
and
all this
bears.
information that should have been
Oh
on the
my
other. It's like, oh, this is for the backpackers, and it's like, well, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. And so we just come out and, people just think that, you had the best time ever. And we're like,
Yeah.
whatever. So we
No.
get in the car and we just sit there. We let the car warm up and there's no speaking. We are in pure
We're
silence.
just kind of just, yeah,
Like, let it
shocked.
sink in. Take off the shoes. It's okay. So it's like about 10:30 at that point, and we make our way over to our Airbnb, which is only 8 miles down the road. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at it. Well, we, plug our phone into the car, get a little charge, get the code to the house, get into the house, hot
Mhm.
shower, miraculous. But then, like, we're able to see our body. So you can see my shin is like, something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, we were just like limping. We had a rough night in the wilderness. And so got a hot shower. Matthew made some coffee. And then we, like, we had gone to
We
Safeway
had
to get the
yeah, we
cookies.
had the burgers
We had, like,
with
yeah,
blue cheese.
ground beef and
Oh,
blue
it was
cheese, and I was gonna make caramelized
caramelized,
onions, like,
that was
let's
great.
go. And so that's what we had for breakfast. Like, I took a shower, then Matthew took a shower, and I made burgers, and then we
A
smashed
real meal in 24 hours.
a real meal in 24 hours. Then we smashed the burgers, had a coffee, literally sat there, and our Airbnb host was super dope. She left like two really cool like vinyl stickers of like Nia Bay and Ozette Peninsula. And then it was like, hope you guys had a good hike. She wrote. And then for the guest book, I wrote just this, short, like, oh, Natalie, it was quite the occasion. Like, we just got back here, but it
Yeah.
was great. Thank you for your hosting. Bye. So, and then, we got to drive 5.5 hours home.
Yeah.
We got to go back
Yeah.
to the parents' house. We got
With
to,
my
like,
punk right leg doing the
yeah,
driving.
Matthew's
That's
like
great.
not wanting to drive great. And we're just like, kind of well, we didn't want to be the people who were found in the woods. we
But we also don't want to be the dead carcasses that are found in the woods either,
Yeah, like, we don't want to be the kids who just get lost in the woods that are just like fuck
We don't
ups
want to be
and
the
die.
NUs.
No, we don't wanna make the news. The Sunderkids die over the weekend for a cool, trip they do together. Fuck that. We do not need that. And so this that was, I think, motivation. Honestly, I think the bears really helped with the adrenaline rush and, like, keeping us warm because it
Oh
my
yeah,
heart was just out of whack. I mean, whoa there, champ. But anyway, so we had to drive that time home. It was the day before I flew back to school.
yeah. So the end of a wild winter break from school for you.
Yeah, so I had to, like, come back to Illinois, and so, like, and it's just, like, casual, normal day. So, like, we get home, we're late, right? Mom cooks crab, it's my last day, it's amazing.
No, I mean we walk in and give both of the parents big old hugs,
Well, yeah, Matt
long embraces.
long embrace.
Like,
We
oh
really
man,
oh,
oh.
and, they just really trust that we're careful. We always come back alive, and this one just really shook us both,
A
I would
little
say.
bit.
A little bit. We were
I
grounded.
can't wait to go back out there.
Oh, but we're gonna go with lots and lots of gear and
So much
well,
gear.
okay, but here's the thing. Let's get into roasting Matthew's little asshole. It is, he sends out and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this hike," and I'm like, "Six, six, 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 six." And usually, I mean, I am diving deep into these hikes. I love me some All Trails reviews. I am going through because I want to know if it's actually for me. I don't through Costa Rica, I learned that I want to enjoy my hiking. I shouldn't need to just overdo it because, like, why? It's up to me. So I'm always looking up the trails. Well, Matthew did not do that, and it's like, well,
I
let's just
did. I
see.
looked up all of the trails. Again, I read at the beginning of this podcast what I had looked up and what I
Okay,
had
one
sent.
thing, one thing. That was
No, this
one
is
section of it.
no, I have that from All Trails and the Washington Trails Association and the other ones. I sent you multiple links,
Yes,
Brittany.
you sent me, and I did not open
And
them
you
because
I read all of them. I
Okay,
read all
well,
of
did it
them.
tell you that there's bears at all the time?
No. That's
Yes,
what
there
I'm
is. I
saying.
went on there. No, 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 no.
So on the
I searched this
reviews,
right after.
on some of the reviews,
Yes.
yeah, but not in the official stuff. It
Correct.
was like,
That's what I
okay,
am
some of
saying.
these people are
I
like,
read
"Hey,
all the
yeah, I
reviews.
I saw I saw the bear." Like
Yes.
they're like that. Yeah. No, I did
Correct.
not read that. No.
Okay, that is what I'm
I
saying.
read
I
all of
read
the
the reviews.
information provided
Correct.
and, I was like,
Yes.
"Okay, here we are."
Yes. And then I Googled Ozette Triangle. Well, the first article that pops up is this guy that's like, "You'll never be alone at this beach. There's always so much wildlife." He saw bear prints and he talks about that. And it's like,
But he had stayed over a course of 4 days.
absolutely. But it was like this trail probably needs 4 days. It is that
It
treacherous
needs
of
2
a
days.
trail.
Not that treacherous.
Whatever. You are validating your bullshit right now. Matthew,
No, I'm saying if we
this
had 4 more hours and we would have gone from the south, it would have been an
correct.
easy peasy, like, lemon squeezy day.
But we didn't. We were
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
yeah,
let's start
but
at
you're giving me
noon."
shit for something that was 100% doable and that it was 100% like, "Oh, yeah, if you wanna
It
do the
was
loop, it's
poorly
doable."
planned. It's doable. It is doable at the right time and condition of day.
No, we
And with
had
that,
everything.
nah.
We had all of the amount of information that I had needed for every other hike that I've done.
Yeah.
Adequate
Read the
amount of information.
reviews. Be more prepared. There was so many things about bears in there. And like, yeah, it's
No, the
just
reviews are
we were
100% my bad.
we were both being
I
ignorant
didn't
in
I didn't
multiple
do the
parts.
yeah, I didn't do the reviews much, but I read
Yes.
every single detail about the things, trying to find where
Yeah.
the petroglyphs were,
Yeah.
looked up tide charts.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
I
my
get it.
research.
You did your research, but not all the best and
I
not
needed to get up out my asshole on this one.
mm, 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 mm. And still shred
But
you for it
we
because it's still
survived.
all over the fucking internet how much bears are over there. I just, want to
Yeah.
make that
No,
very
that was
well known. It's not a shocker
no,
if you
100%.
look it
It's
up.
a very well-known thing that there's
Mhm.
bears here, and I just did not know
Yeah.
that. Um,
But,
so it turns out Black
We learned a
bears
lot.
on the Olympic Peninsula, it's a specific subspecies. The ones on the coast do not hibernate, and they have cubs later in the season, which is why we saw them with cubs
Yeah.
in the middle of winter.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
every other bear population, that's like, a what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I get it. I get it. I get it. They're very, it's very different. I get it. I get it. I'm just,
Yeah.
thank you for your facts. I appreciate them.
I
Um,
did my research post as well. My
yes.
hindsight research as well.
Yes, we both did our hindsight research, but we just honestly, we've been doing this for years, and I
And we're
think
going to continue doing it for
we're gonna
years.
continue to do it, but we had some big dick energy. I mean, like one time, this wasn't New Year's Eve, but at one point we did go on that sick ass hike, and we had these jaybirds eat out of our hands, and like we
Yeah.
had birds in our fingers. We think kind of we're hot shit sometimes, a little bit of Snow White action, and, and they were like, we're gonna hit you with some bears this time. Like the
Yeah.
simulation was like,
Yeah.
Sunderkids, you sit your
Yeah.
asses down.
We've been chilling. Remember, there's that elk herd that went through that
Oh,
valley at that same place.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh
we
my God.
seen like moose, but like yeah. And so what was crazy? I mean, I had saw a black bear at Mount Rainier at Paradise about a month and a half beforehand,
Whoa.
or a couple months beforehand.
Dang.
Yeah. So, and that was the first time I had seen like a bear up close.
Well,
And
yeah, because
so
we
like
saw that one at Rainier, right? One
we
going
saw
across
that
the
one,
street.
yeah, yeah, really far off and then going up
Yeah.
the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one was like,
Right
here it
there.
is on the trail. Yeah.
Dang.
And I was like, there's park rangers and there's hundreds of people taking pictures.
Yeah.
Different from walking up to one 30 feet away at the other side of a beach
Having
with
its
two
snout
cubs.
wiggle at you.
Having a snout is giving you a good old whiff.
Yeah, just seeing if you're worth its time.
Yeah, is this dinner or
Holy
is it the carcass? No,
smokers.
it's
Oh,
not.
like
I ate
murdering.
the carcass that day.
Yeah, we took back our territory that day. It was we went tribal.
Yeah,
Tribal and primal. It really
but
felt
yeah.
like
So I mean, we've
nice.
retold this story to some friends, and we had to retell it to obviously the parents. Right when we got home, we had to call Kat and Lenny to decompress on the drive
Yeah.
home.
Well, because it's like also, kind of embarrassing. Like we're pretty good campers and hikers, and then like
We
our
did
headlamps
survive,
are dead,
and
and our
yeah,
it's like certain stuff
stupid
that we should have been
mistakes.
on top of that it's like,
Yeah,
man, if this was just a little bit worse, we could have died. I mean, 34 degrees. What if it did snow? What if,
it,
what if we ran into something? Then it's like, oh, there's cougars. There's like these
yeah,
ravens are just stalking us. It's like,
yeah.
jeez, get me out of here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it could. And again, on the crazy part is you're like, oh man, I'm only 3 miles from my car.
Yeah,
It's
like
this
we're
dangerous.
very
We're
close.
I swear, like, because we were so close. We camped pretty much next to the boardwalk
The
back. So
trail.
it's like,
Freaking,
man, yeah. But we made it. We're
we made
stronger
it.
for it. And we have a kick-ass first episode of our podcast from it.
Yeah. Because why not?
Hindsight's only going to be better. But man, I
Oh.
cannot wait to go back this summer when there's more daylight, and I'm going to spend the night. I'm
Yeah, that
probably
would be a
going to
sick camp spot in the summer.
bring a
Maybe
machete.
with a tent too would be kind of
No,
nice.
full tent, full setup. Yeah, actually do the
Oh,
loop.
okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
that's
cool,
what I would
cool.
like to do. Sorry, I
Mm.
didn't take you on that.
Yeah, we usually have like the most
I
magical
threw
trips.
you for a loop.
You
I didn't
really
take
threw me
you on
for
the
a loop
loop.
this year. It was a rough one, but
So
I
next
think I
time
needed it too.
I'll still suggest some things, but you're gonna be in
I
charge of
will
planning.
definitely be looking up everything and checking it twice. I'm now
Yeah,
Santa Claus.
yeah, gotta double verify. Get
Double
that green check mark.
verify. Green check. Oh my gosh. Literally, I mean, like, oh my heart. But hey,
But then it was
we
like,
did it. And it
Oh
was a
man.
catalyst to, like, us I mean, doing this, one, and then
Yeah.
just, like, being like, "You know what? Life is short. What if we were eaten by bears?
Well,
Like,
we were eaten by bears.
what if we
And then
died
it's like,
here?"
man, yeah, it's like it sucks and I feel bad for myself that I got laid off by Uber, but I just scared off a freaking bear and two cubs
Dude.
and defended my freaking sister on the beach.
Ah!
I can do this.
You can do this.
2023 is my fucking year.
Ow! Ay, 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 ow! Oh, litty
Mm,
titty. Yeah, legit though. It just it was something fierce. But I'm happy it led to this and we're here and we're
we're here.
creating and doing and
Yeah,
telling and we're being the storytellers I think we're meant to be. And
for
that's
sure.
really cool. And I'm excited to see where this goes. So everyday vibes with the Sunderkids. I mean,
Everyday
could
vibes
mean
with Sunderkids.
whatever. And that's like the coolest part. We just want to chat and,
We want to vibe with you,
we want to
and we
vibe.
want you to vibe with us.
Oh, what a thing. Touches my
Chill and be
soul.
chill.
Chill and be chill. Uns ja.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, all right. So deuces, I guess we'll see you next time, right?
Yeah. See you next time.
Ciao ciao for now.